If you like this video, you can subscribe to my channel, but before I get into my 5 most anticipated films of the year, I wanted to give a shout out to Real Friends Movie Reviews. Dave, thanks a lot for looking out for me. I'm looking out for you. He's got great insight onto movies. He does reviews. He does trailer reviews, the whole 9 yards. You can find him on Facebook, follow him on Twitter. He's got a podcast, but subscribe to his channel on YouTube. The beauty about this community is we all look out for each other. So let me get right to it. I'm going to do some honorable mentions right off the bat. So here we go. I'm very interested in checking out Godzilla. I think it's going to be fun. It's bringing in Rodan and Mothra and King Ghidorah and all of them, and it's going to be a big monster battle. So I'm excited to see that one right off the bat. Hobbs and Shaw, that's another one. The Fast and Furious franchise has gotten so crazy with submarines and cars flying out of planes and all this other kind of stuff that I'm kind of done with Fast and Furious. Hobbs and Shaw were the only 2 characters I liked in the last film. They really made the movie for me. So seeing a film about them, Idris Elba is also playing the supervillain in it. So dude, this movie's going to rock. I can't wait. I'm excited. Jason Statham, Dwayne Johnson, Idris Elba, same film, action. Dude, you can't want anything more than that from a film of this kind of popcornish genre. John Wick 3. I'm excited about John Wick 3. I wasn't too thrilled about the new trailer, but I think the song, the Frank Sinatra song, killed it for me. I love the first 2 films. I know they're doing a series for television, so this might end up, I think, coming full circle. Maybe John Wick actually dies at the end of this thing. This way the television series can take off where it's all about the hotel and the assassins coming and going and those storylines and things like that. So those are my honorable mentions. Oh wait, I got one more, Midway with Roland Emmerich. I'm really excited about that film. I love period piece films like Saving Private Ryan, and Roland Emmerich is handling Midway, which is the Battle of Midway, which was a battle that happened in the Pacific during World War II with all the planes, Corsairs, all this other kind of stuff flying, dogfighting. It's going to be badass. I'm kind of excited about that. But let's get right to it. So here's the top 5 of my most anticipated films. Now, these are all popcorn, heavy special effect, crazy movies that we're all going to have a good time and enjoy. Here's number 5, Terminator 6. I'm really excited about this. I thought Terminator Genesis was a misfire. Terminator Salvation had some good parts, but the storyline was so mixed because it started off as one script and then manifested into another as soon as Christian Bale came around, and you can kind of see that and how the movie was pieced together. Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines was okay, but the perfect 2 films for me that encapsulates Terminator is Terminator 1 and 2. The Terminator 6 is a direct sequel to Terminator 2. They're pretending the other stuff is just alternate timelines. Tim Miller's directing this film. I'm excited about that. He did the first Deadpool film. I watched a YouTube video where they interviewed James Cameron and Tim Miller about Terminator 6. They were talking about how passionate they were, and it got to the point where like Tim Miller even like shed a tear. He was getting all choked up and emotional, but he even admits he's an easy crier. But the thing is, I really feel like they're bringing this thing back home. And if it does launch a new trilogy, like Terminator Genesis was supposed to launch a new trilogy, Terminator Salvation was supposed to launch a new trilogy, and it never happened. Because they were misfires at the box office. But, you know, Terminator 5 Genesis actually did well at the box office. It didn't do well domestically, but it did $350 million overseas, which is why if you could breathe the right life into this franchise, it still is a moneymaker worldwide. So Terminator 6, my pick number 5. Pick number 4 for most anticipated film, The Irishman. I know that's not a heavy CGI movie, but I'll tell you a little bit about it. So Netflix is spending $115 million to do a mob movie, the end-all, be-all of mob films. They're bringing back Joe Pesci, Robert De Niro, Al Pacino. I mean, you name them, anyone who's left is in this movie, but it takes place over several decades, so they're using a lot of CGI to de-age the actors so that they can portray themselves in different intervals of life. And that's pretty awesome. $115 million, most expensive movie Netflix is producing, and it will be limited in the theater the first month it's out, but it's also going to be Netflix exclusive. So I really think this is going to be a badass movie. I'm really excited about it. The Irishman. Number 3. I am excited about Toy Story 4. The last one made me cry like a baby. I don't know how Pixar and these guys seem to capture lightning in a bottle every single time they do a Toy Story film. And just when you think everything's over and done with and it's tied up in a nice little bow for episode 3, they're bringing Toy Story 4 to life. I'm excited about it. I have to admit, I'm really can't wait for this movie. Number 2. Avengers Endgame. I mean, you know, the last one was left on a cliffhanger. We've kind of gotten a little bit of who has possibly survived because of the trailer for Spider-Man Far From Home. So we know he at least lives. But, you know, I noticed somebody who was absent from that trailer was Tony Stark, who's been kind of the buddy for Peter Parker throughout this coming in from Civil War and all that kind of stuff. So we might be losing Tony Stark in Endgame. We might be losing, which I'm pretty confident we are losing, Captain America, Chris Evans, which he's been my favorite Avenger since the first Captain America. I mean, everyone loves Iron Man, of course, but my number 2 guy, or my number 1 guy actually, has always been Chris Evans. I just love how he's played this character in every single film. So I'm really excited about that one. And then my number 1 most anticipated film of the year, I have to wait all the way till December for, which is Star Wars Episode 9. Look, they brought back JJ. They're trying to retcon this stuff. The movie takes place a year into the future, and hopefully they'll fix a lot of the problems and bring a lot of what JJ had put in the Force Vision and the Force Awakens with the Knights of Ren and things like that. They bring these elements back that we needed. Maybe we find out something different about Rey's parents and that Kylo Ren was a lying asshole, and maybe Luke Skywalker can figure out if, since Yoda can bring lightning bolts from the clouds to destroy things, which is kind of weird because at any given point, he could have just had a lightning bolt and a storm form around Kylo Ren and shoot him down and kill him. Plot hole. Maybe Luke Skywalker can figure out a way to come back from the dead and not just be a Force ghost. But if he is just a Force ghost, that's okay. I'd love to see him help Rey complete her training. Not that she seems to need it. But anyway, those are my top 5. Terminator 6, The Irishman, Toy Story 4, Avengers Endgame, and Star Wars Episode 9. Yes, they're all popcorn films. What are your most anticipated films for 2019? Let's talk about it in the comments. What do you think? And we'll see you on the next video.